Hey guys, you're watching Boondocking with Dennis. We are in Rockport today. We might be in Rockport, but we're going to talk about Ingleside. They're having their market days here in Rockport, the third weekend of every month. I think next weekend I read they're in Bayside. They have a pretty good selection in there of handmade things, artisan items, food. It's a neat place just to go walk around. And every setup in every little different town is unique. Here they're at the fairgrounds in Rockport. We're just entering Rockport Beach. We'll stop and see some interesting things, hopefully. We got waved in. Is that bad when you come here so much they know you and they don't even check your pass anymore? 81 degrees. The wind is 12 miles an hour with gusts up to 16. You can see the flags there are still at half-mast for former Vice President Dick Cheney. So I'm in one of the Ingleside community Facebook groups. Rockport, if you go south, you hit Aransas Pass, and then Ingleside, Texas, and we've gone and done plenty of videos from there. There is talk about opening an ammonia plant, and some people are for it, and some people are against it. If you're in Ingleside, I'd really like to hear what you think. Ammonia is used in fertilizers, refrigeration, manufacturing, agriculture. It's used in the production of plastics, explosive, pesticides, and helps process other chemicals. So ammonia is a pretty common thing here in the United States. I know it's a compound of nitrogen and hydrogen, and they were just talking about where exactly is it going to go, how close is it to residential homes, how close is it to the schools, how safe is it. I was watching an episode of The Deadliest Catch, one of those little 12-minute clips, and one of the boats had an ammonia leak, and just from the ammonia leak, they abandoned ship. There was no fire. A spark could set it off, but that's how dangerous it is. And they're out in the middle of nowhere in open water, and they abandoned ship in a harsh, Bering Sea with high waves, and fortunately they were all rescued safely. And if I remember right, the ship was lost. So it is dangerous and has the possibility. These guys are just getting their boat out of the water here at the boat ramp. I could watch this all day. Again, if you look at my posts, we have a photo of a truck that was backing the boat in. And I'm not sure how he wound up in the water, if he just miscalculated or if he slipped down the boatway, but he was in. You could just see his hood sticking out. I was trying to think of the positive things about having a plant. And Ingleside does have that large built-up area with other plants and industries there. It's right on Corpus Christi Bay. But it's odd that Corpus doesn't have that industry. And I know the fishermen are concerned about it because any wastewater products, CO2 emissions, things like that, they're worried about how it's going to affect the fish. The fish aren't there. There goes the fishing industry, which is part of the huge tourist trade. It's not that far from the Port Aransas beaches. And it really could have long-term effects for the area, and it only takes one little thing to go wrong. On the positive side, influx of tax dollars, influx of jobs, people, which means more restaurants, more hotels. I'm noticing though that Ingleside got all the industry, and it seems like Portland got all of the new hotels. I know there were a few added in Aransas Pass, but Portland got all the new hotels like in the last 5-6 years. And Ingleside has some of the older hotels there, and I'm wondering if it's too late for them to jump on that and get some hotels there from executives and workers. They're going to need more housing, affordable housing for the workers. Portland's all built up now. It's there's a lot going on. It affects the birds because the birds eat the fish, and birds eat other things that eat the grass that type of chemicals could possibly seep into. I think the main way they moved it, if I read the report correctly, was double-lined railroad cars. So that also adds to the railroad industry. And there are people out there much more knowledgeable on this subject than I am. So if you have something that you can communicate civilly, please feel free to leave a comment, because I like looking things up. And I was reading about health benefits, and it can lead to chronic respiratory issues, long-term environmental impacts. I read that inhaling ammonia gas can cause irritation of the nose, throat, and lungs, coughing, shortness of breath, just all kinds of negative things. It's corrosive. It has toxic effects. I guess they need the water. It also can lead to COPD and lung cancer. Then there's the basic air pollution, the effect on the greenhouse effect. It can kill off the biodiversity of an area. I'm going to interrupt. Ava, there's your truck. Ava is Chris's daughter from Ari's World. And all you have to do is go to Bandera, Texas to get it. But for the last 2 days, it's been here at Rockport Beach. And it's even got a sweet spot for the spare tire. I'd love to own something like that that runs great and looks like that. It looks like it's put in a life, I'm just going by people's comments and Facebook, and trying to get a little bit informed before I go down the rabbit hole. And I know there's people out there that know more than I do, and they often leave really good information. And I'm sure there's a pro side and an against side, and it would bring money in for the school district. But aren't there already a bunch of industries there? Like, shouldn't that be enough to pay for the schools? Just the tax dollars from those businesses, or no? Do we need more? It's also like it was used as a refrigerant aboard that boat that was in the Deadliest Catch, and then of course they use it in cleaning agents as well. It's nasty stuff when it's not handled correctly. And I read that ammonia gas is not highly flammable. It is flammable, but containers of ammonia may explode when exposed to high heat. I don't know what high heat is, but we get that Texas sun down here, and that can put out some high heat. So, also there was talks about putting a desalination plant like right around the corner from there. And I think those have been killed. But I mean, do you want your drinking water coming from the the offshoot of an ammonia plant. It's not something I want to have a second glass of, you know. We got all our wildlife there to think about, the aquatic life, the dolphins, the fish. And then again, maybe there's... The project is called YaREN, which is almost like Karen, but Y-A and then capital R-E-N. And it was a joint venture between, see if I remember this right, Enbridge and Yara. And the name comes as a combination of those two companies. What was it? REN, R-E-N, is also the Norwegian word for clean. So we know everything's going to be fine because we're going to use the Norwegian word for clean in the title. And it's going to be located on the Enbridge facility in Ingleside. Okay, that tells me where it's at, so that's good. The construction of any facility will be subject to receipt of all necessary regulatory approvals in all operation. And we know how that goes with big government, right? The kickbacks are there. I'm not saying that's the case here, but it certainly has happened in other nearby communities. And I think we all know what communities they are if you watch the news, but we're not that far from Ingleside. And I really like looking at the pelicans and watching the dolphins. So I'm hoping we can get together and find a cure, a fix, and do what's right for the community and still provide jobs and keep everybody safe. I think that's the goal everyone's shooting for. Having a big influx of money would be a good thing. There is a tanker out there. I'm sorry, not a tanker, a tug or a tow pushing a barge. And that one is the Defender. Actually, it's a double barge. That's why I thought it was a tanker. And that would have went right past the Ingleside area. Keeping an eye on the pelicans. And like I said, guys, if you have an opinion about the ammonia plant, leave a respectful comment and other people can read it and maybe look up their own information and get a more informed opinion than I have this evening. But I'm keeping an eye on it, and I want to read over everything that I saved today. I love this area. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I would hate to lose it. Going to head out. There's an event in Rockport this weekend. Warbirds over Texas. It's at the Aransas County Airport. I believe my friend Troy's going to go there and do some videos from there. So check out Troy's channel at Adventure America. They got the live music going. It's a good event. Once you get past these outer tents, there's like an inner circle, and you can walk around and see all the vendors. Well, guys, this part is for A Surfer. Thanks for riding along today. Thanks for watching.